My name is Vila Loukas. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to be talking about the Universal Kabbalah system for actualizing your potential. The Universal Kabbalah system is an ancient method for maximizing human potential. And as humans, we're designed to be incredibly powerful, incredibly effective, incredibly creative in our lives. And working with the Universal Kabbalah and the pattern of the Tree of Life helps awaken that potential within us. So what I'd like to talk to you about today is, what is the Universal Kabbalah system? And we do a particularly interesting approach to Kabbalah. We do what's called an Ascension program. And it is a 10-month-long immersion into the energies of the Tree of Life. And it is literally transformative. It will change your life forever. It will change who you are on the inside, and as a result, it changes everything about your external reality, because we are the creators of our reality. And what goes on inside is what we reflect and create outside of ourselves. So the process of ascension of the Tree of Life in Universal Kabbalah is true alchemy. It's a true transformational process from within to without. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about how that works right now. So I have here a couple of versions of the Tree of Life. So this is what is called the central glyph, or focus of study in Kabbalah. It is a pattern. So it's not so much an image or a symbol per se. It is a set of relationships. And so you'll see many different versions of the Tree of Life. So this is one, beautifully done. Here's another one that you can see here on this wall, giving a little bit more detail of some of the correspondences and references of each of the 10 spheres, or the sephira, on the Tree of Life. So this glyph represents many things. It's a multi-dimensional map of consciousness, of the pattern of creation, and literally of our DNA. And so when we work with the energies of the Tree of Life, when we awaken them within us, we are literally turning on the DNA at the microcosmic level. And then at the macrocosmic level, we are aligning ourselves with this pattern of creation. At the very top of this glyph, this map, the sphere here is called Keter, and it represents source, divine source energy. Everything and nothing. And at the very bottom of the tree, we have Malkuth, which translates to the kingdom. And this represents physicality, all things dense, all things physical, our bodies, everything that exists in the physical world. And the rest of this pattern describes how we get from here to here. So you can imagine how helpful that would be in our lives to use this pattern of taking source energy and bringing it through this specific series of energetic processes in order to bring about physical manifestation down here in Malkuth. It's a very exciting process. It's one of my favorite things in all the world to do. I've been working with the Universal Kabbalah system for about 7 years now, and I am now teaching this method. And I am inviting people to come join us up here in Seattle, Washington. We're going to be kicking off a 10-month-long Ascension program very soon, September 27th and 28th. And I am looking for those who are ready to truly transform their lives and make a significant impact on the world around them, both in the immediate spheres of home and work and family and community, but then even more so on a larger scale. It's time to transform our planet, and it's up to each one of us as individuals to undertake our own personal great work, the great work of knowing thyself. So let me tell you a little bit more about this Ascension program. Over the period of the 10 months, what we're going to do is literally take our energetic system through the energies of the tree. And as we do that, the tree becomes an access point for us. Each one of these spheres is like a gateway to us, a gateway to these energies of creation. And so it's an experiential process. There's a lot of information, there's a lot of knowledge, there's a lot of learning, but the learning is most importantly happening at an energetic level. That's the alchemy of this program. So here, over here in the corner, I have our little Ascension man, and I'm going to be moving him through the tree as I talk about how this Ascension program works. And I'll be using my my sound effects. This is high technology here to describe this Ascension process. So the way the program works is we'll start out with a 2-day weekend, September 27th and 28th, where we lay in the foundation of Kabbalah and the pattern of the Tree of Life and the work of asking the important questions. Who am I? What am I? Where did I come from? Where am I going? And what is my purpose in life? These are the 5 questions of Kabbalah that we continue to ask ourselves and allow for those answers to be revealed from within. The word Kabbalah means to receive, or that which is received. And so we begin to receive the answers to those questions as we contemplate them from within. So we start out with this 2-day weekend, and at the end of those 2 days, the Kabbalah instructor gathers the group together and we do an energetic ascension, literally taking the entire group and everybody's energy, and here we go, we're going to raise that vibration and here we are, here's our guy, and now after this ascension he's come from life as he knew it and now is living here at this level of the tree in Malkuth. And so these energies of Malkuth then begin to color the ins and outs of daily life. And so all of the strengths that are achieved here in Malkuth, things like discernment, things like health and vitality, things like getting your house and home in order, these start to become what comes to the forefront in our lives as we ascend into Malkuth. And then the areas of weakness here in Malkuth then also get to be addressed. So things like being overly heavy or inert, or the physicality seeming like a burden, which can happen for us as spiritual beings. We can feel like, oh, it's just so hard to live in physical reality. Well, when Malkuth is coming in with balanced energy, we feel energetic, we feel abundant, we feel vibrant. So we spend about 2 months here and working with these energies of Malkuth. And then we come back together again, and we're going to do here in Seattle another class meeting where we're going to work with the energies of Yesod. So we'll spend an evening, and we'll now move from the realm of physicality to the foundation, which is what is Yesod. And at the completion of that evening class, we'll come together once again. The Kabbalah instructor will take the group's energy and shift it, bringing it now into the energies of Yesod. And so here, then the class begins to live in a very different way, working with these lunar qualities in Yesod, working with achieving the strengths that are here in Yesod, which include things like independence, strength, psychic abilities, dream study. All of these lunar reflective qualities start to get enhanced in the sphere, in the energy of Yesod. And then working on some of the weaknesses that exist here in that reflective place of becoming idle, kind of spinning the wheels and not really getting things done, or getting lost in what's called the treasure house of images. So working with that for about 2 months, working with these energies of Yesod, having also the energies of Malkuth still there supporting the process. And then another 2 months or so down the road, we'll come back together again, and this time we come back for a one-day class that gives us 3 ascensions. And we're going to be doing Hod, Netzach, and Tiferet together. And so we come together for a one-day class. We spend the day really working with these energies, the energies of the mind, which is Hod, and the emotions, which is Netzach. And then Tiferet, we start to bring in the light of the sun, and that sense of who am I really? What is my purpose here? And we start to work with what's called devotion to the great work of know thyself. So we spend that day, and at the end of the day, 3 ascensions. So here we go. Kabbalah instructor gets the group together, and we do, and here we go. Our class is now working on these virtues here, the strengths of Hod, of truthfulness, the strengths of Netzach, which include creativity and self-expression, and as I mentioned, that devotion to the great work and knowledge of what is my purpose here in Tiferet. So about another 2 months or so, working with those energies and calling forward in our own individual lives, what are the pieces in each of these spheres that I need to personally work on? And having the support of the tree as I do that work. A couple months later, we come back together again, and then we're going to go into this level of the tree. And so these are the spheres of Geburah and Hesed. Geburah is the warrior, and Hesed is the enthroned sovereign. So the king or queen benevolently and abundantly ruling over the dominion. So the dominion of our lives. Then we become the king or queen of our lives, having balance, having strength, having abundance flowing through, so that we can manage everything to the highest degree possible. So group comes together for another one day, and at the completion of that one day, Kabbalah instructor gets the group together. Here we go. We're going to do 2 more ascensions. And now operating at this level of the tree and integrating these really powerful energies of the warrior, being willing to fight for what is right, being able to hold boundaries in our lives, and then really starting to flow true alignment and true abundance. And here, this is the translation of chesed is mercy. So we start to gain the qualities of mercy, love, compassion, as well as courage, strength, and vitality, power. Self-empowerment is really what happens at this level of the tree. And so then, spend a couple of months here. And you may notice that there's kind of an interesting phenomena at this level of the tree, this wavy line here. That represents what's called the abyss. And the abyss is the separation that we experience as human beings from the top of the tree, which is the supernal triad. At the top of the tree we have the supernal mother, Bina, which represents the divine feminine. And then we have the supernal father, Chokhmah, and which is the divine masculine. And then I already mentioned Keter, the crown, which is divine source. So all 3 together, this is the realm of the divine, the realm of God, the realm of creation, however you want to term it. And so this abyss represents our separation, our experience as we come into physical bodies, that we feel separate from one another, and we feel separate from our source. We feel separate from the creators, the mother and the father of all things, right? So one of the most important goals of the Ascension program in Universal Kabbalah is to achieve divine union, is to come back into unity with Source, to experience ourselves as divine beings, children of God, literally. And so our final piece of the Ascension program is a 3-day retreat. And we go somewhere beautiful, and we really work, and we amp the energy, and we amp the energy, and we amp the energy. And the culmination of the whole thing is a crossing of this abyss. And we move from the sphere of Hesed across to the sphere of Bina, and we come into an experience of face-to-face contact with the divine realm, with the supernal triad. And as you can imagine, it's a pretty incredible process. And upon completion of this work, the whole pattern is set into place. The entire tree is lit up in the auric field. And so the pattern of who we truly are as humans, that potential that we have within us, becomes the reality of how we move through the world. And we remember where we came from. And then we get a sense of where is it we're going. Interestingly enough, then, we never go back down. We never go back to where we started from. Instead, we move from here. And there's a tree on top of a tree on top of a tree. So Keter becomes the Malkuth of the next tree up. And so you begin to see how this transformation is truly possible. The world looks really different when you start living with all of these energies activated within you and literally operating from a much higher plane. It's a truly remarkable system, and it's something that if you're ready for it and you're ready for amazing changes in your life, I invite you to get some more information. Check out our websites, check out the information up on Facebook, some more of these videos. I talk about the benefits of Kabbalah, and let me know if it's something that you're interested in. Send me an email or shoot me a message via Facebook, and I look forward to amazing things happening for those who understand the importance of each one of us doing our own personal great work at this time. Thanks for watching.